When I go to tell people the truth about, like, their, like, say, talk to them about a physical condition that they might have.
Because you're a healer.
Yeah, I'm a bone therapist. Yeah. I get a lot of projection from spirits. They shut me down. They shut the client down. The client just justifies their way out of it. And then when the client leaves, I find that I'm actually stuck with the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's now angry with you.
Who's angry with me.
Yeah.
And they're worse at night with me.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of fear around with them at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's sort of describe what's going on, all right, in terms of emotions going on for each of you. So you've got your yourself. So there's yourself. You've got your client. We'll lay your client down, okay? So here he is laying down. Right. I'm assuming you lay him on a bed of some kind or whatever. There we go. Right, so he's laid down. Now, he's come to you, this client has come to you because he's got physical problems. So he's coming to you for the purpose of healing physical problems. Okay? So here he is, this client laying down, and he's got these spirits connected to him, right? And in fact, many of these spirits are actually the reason of his physical problems, right? So they're actually connecting to an emotion inside of him, of some kind of emotion. So can you give me an example of one of the persons that visited that has been a male?
Okay, I've got one tomorrow who's got 2 heroin addict children.
2 heroin addict children?
Yeah, and she really wants to help herself, but she's just in despair and...
About her children?
Yeah.
Yeah. What emotions does she have?
A lot of shame, a lot of just loads of unworthiness, grief.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you tried talking to her, how did she react about that?
She's quite good. She actually listens to me.
Okay, well let's choose one that doesn't.
Okay. One that's quite freaky though for me. Motorcycle.
That's freaky for you. Why is that freaky for you?
Well, that she's got. I guess that. Well, whenever she leaves, I feel that the spirits stay with me because I feel that I have shame of my past.
Yeah. So that's why it's freaky for you, that one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about what's going on for you. We'll talk about what's going on for you, for the client, for you, for the spirits with the client, in terms of a summary. Yeah. Because it's really important to understand as a healer what really is happening, not just what's what seems to be at the surface level all the time. Yeah. So let's say you've got a man. We'll say a man. I know you've got some men clients coming to you with some physical ailments. So let's say in this case the physical ailments are down like sort of in the bowel area and a lot of bowel pain and a lot of problems like that. And these spirits are connecting to the pain that he has emotionally. They don't understand that they're connecting emotionally to his pain. And it's the emotional pain of unworthiness with women in this example I'll give, all right? There's emotional pain in them with unworthiness with women. Now, you're a woman who's the healer. So straight away they've got an issue with you. You're a woman, right? Straight away you're the cause of our pain, just by being a woman. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So this group of spirits have that. Now, he's only come along to you to get healed. He feels like all he wants is the physical healing. He's not interested in dealing with emotions or anything like that, right? So what do you do with it, like, at the end of the day? Well, firstly, you could choose to not treat anybody who's not willing to deal with an emotion. Now, what that will do straight away is it will stop any spirit sticking around with you afterwards.
So can I just say, unless you're willing to deal with this emotion that I'm telling you that's going on, then I don't want you to come back.
That's right, you can. Yeah, of course. Because what you're doing is investing energy in somebody who doesn't want to heal the cause of their trouble. Does that make sense? If a person doesn't want to heal the cause of their trouble, then what's the point of dealing with the effect? There's not much point, really, is there? But tell him the effect first. The effect is you've got this problem down here. The reason why is you've got 3 spirits connected to you. The reason why they're connecting with you is because you've got this emotion, and you can get all this information from you guys quite clearly, right, in your condition. You've got this emotion that they're connecting to. Now, my question to you is, do you want to deal with that emotion? Because if you want to deal with that emotion, we can heal all of this. Right? But if you don't really want to deal with this emotion, then there's really not too much we can do, because we can heal you a bit, but then these spirits are going to stay connected with you. They'll still be messing up your body in that particular area. You'll have to come back time after time after time after time to get a bit of a healing, you know. You'll feel good for a couple of days. Then you'll go, you know, you'll feel bad again, and then you'll say, then after a while you start saying, Shannon, she's useless, she doesn't work, you know, that doesn't work at all, and you'll start blaming me because you've paid me hundreds of dollars now to come back. And the whole point of that is, at the end of the day, if you're not willing to deal with your emotion, this is probably what's going to happen instead. All right? Yeah. So what do you want? Do you want to deal with your emotion? And I'm perfectly happy to help you with the entire process, but if you're not willing to deal with this emotion, it's not going to work. Yeah. So that's what I'd say to them anyway. Yeah. But then you can start understanding what's going on. Firstly, this group of spirits now, if this man starts considering dealing with his emotions, what do you think these groups of spirits are going to do now?
Attack me.
Well, they're going to be pretty upset. Like, they've been connected to this man for who knows how long. They might have been connected to him for all of his life, right? So, of course, they're going to get a bit upset, right? Now, we can say, all right, what we need to do is deal with these. And I would speak openly to the client. Look, you've got this three men spirits. These are the emotions they have. We can talk to these spirits as well and deal with them. I don't know if you believe in spirits or not, but I can, you know, I can feel them there, and I can even see, in your case, you can often see them right there. So I can talk to them about their emotions as well if you want. But they're quite angry. And so obviously they're connecting with an emotion in you about women too. Well, you know, you must have some of that emotion within you too. So speak frankly with the client about what's actually going on. Now, some of the clients you're going to freak out completely, and they'll never come back again. So if you have a heavy investment in having money come in about the whole issue, then you might not want to do that, right? But if you have an investment in truth, you want to tell them the entire truth. Now, these men are going to be quite angry, right? They're going to be quite angry. They might not even want to exit the man. They might want to stay with him.
Okay.
Right? And you're going to have to say to the man, look, these men have no intention, if that's what they have no intention of leaving you. They like the connection. They get a lot of things out of it. You know, when you feel unworthy around women and you do a bit of a sexual projection thing, yeah, well, they do that with you. You know, they get a bit out of that. And you know how when you feel really bad around women, you go and drink too much? Well, they have a bit of a drink with you too. You know, that's how they act. So they're feeling, you know, this is part of their connection. And if you get rid of this emotion, what's going to happen is they're not going to have that connection anymore, and they know it. And so they're not going to be too impressed with this happening. So there's going to be resistance to this happening. And I'm perfectly happy to help you through your resistance as well about it happening and the feelings that you have. Now, part of the problem with doing that is that you now are possibly going to come under attack by those spirits, because they're already not happy with women before this even began, let alone now you're telling him that they're going to all disappear with their connection with this man. That's obviously going to cause them some major issues, right? So what do you do about that? What's going to happen is they're going to stick around you and try to cause you to be afraid. You give up doing what you're doing. That's what they'll want to do. Right?
I'm getting those feelings now.
Yeah. And that's what you have, isn't it? Sometimes the feelings afterwards, you think, I don't want to do this healing stuff anymore. Yeah. You know, it's just too freaky now. Yeah. I now understand everything that's going on. It's far too freaky than it was before. Because
I'm just raw. Like, I used to coat myself in, you know, white light. And I'm just raw now, and everything's just coming to me. And
right. So that's the challenge, isn't it?
Freaking out, yeah.
Okay. So what we want to do then is look at our own emotions about what happens when these men project anger at you. And of course they know the time that you're the most afraid is when you're by yourself, alone at night, right? That's when you're really afraid. So how do they freak you out the most? Choose the time when you're the most afraid and give you a bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what they do. So as long as you are aware that they're doing it for the purpose of actually, because they know you're afraid, you can then use that as an opportunity to deal with your fear. Well, firstly, your anger with men, right? And then your fear, and then eventually your grief that you feel that's underneath the fear about them being angry with you.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you allow yourself to do that every time, within a very short period of time, you'll release it all. And they'll come and try to project anger at you, and you'll be snoring around, right, and not have any effect whatsoever, because no longer does that emotion wake you up anymore.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Shannon, for you, that there's that emotion of, because you want to assist people and you are a healer, you were talking about the lady tomorrow, and then the spirits hang around because they can feel the emotion in you of like, I have to look after everyone. So if you can heal that, that will also...
that's good.
Yeah, that will lessen their impact. Like every time they're hanging around with you because they can feel this thing in you.
Yeah.
Can you relate to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to have some sense of love of self, Shannon. Like, it's unloving to yourself to try and heal or attempt to heal a person who doesn't want to address the cause of the emotional reason why they're in the pain in the first place.
Yeah.
And the problem with doing that, if they don't want to address the cause, of course the spirits with them won't want to address the cause either. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if the spirits with them don't want to address the cause, then how much more attack are you going to receive? A lot more than if the spirits with them want to work their way through things.
Yeah.
So can you see that sometimes just acting out of harmony with love of self attracts all of these events, and the lesson we need to learn is to act more harmonious with love of self. Right?
Because it's the same as with your clients. You can say to the spirits, look, I know you're still here and I know you're really sad if with the spirits with the lady tomorrow.
Yeah.
But unless you can see what I'm doing to heal myself, unless you're willing to do that, I can't hear you, I can't,
Yeah.
You can be that firm with them as well. And that's a loving thing to do, because otherwise you're just catching yourself in this unloving cycle where you're hearing about everyone's woes and trying to help, but it's not really effective anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not helping them to see the truth of the fact that that's not effective,
Yeah.
living in their emotions, living in rather than feeling their emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I wanted to spend a bit of time on the answer is because when you understand as a healer or a medium what is actually going on in a lot of the interactions, that gives you a lot more ability to be able to assist every single player in the interaction, including yourself. Remember, as a healer or as a medium, every single person who comes to you is the result of your law of attraction. So there's something inside of yourself that you can heal in this interaction every single time, right? And eventually you'll get to the point where all of this, if you allow that to continue, you'll get to the point where all of these things that need to be healed inside of yourself will be healed, if you're brave enough to deal with it all emotionally. So what a lot of mediums, this is why a lot of mediums and healers in the end finish up just surrounding themselves with a white light or something like that, which is a partially effective way of dealing with their law of attraction. And in a sense, it will back off a lot of spirits, and a lot of spirits won't be able to penetrate that wall for that particular moment. But they're going to have to keep manufacturing that place with their mind all the time and keep manufacturing it with their intention all the time. And it's going to be a terrible effort that eventually takes a toll on them anyway. And the other thing is that it doesn't actually deal with the causal emotion within the medium or the healer themselves as to why they've attracted this particular group of people with this particular person who's come for healing or for some mediumship. And when you allow yourself to see that you're part of the play, you're in the game, if you like, this entire thing is happening because of your law of attraction as well, then you can start working your way through the emotions associated with it. And then you have the beauty of being in this position is you can work through emotions very rapidly as a result, if you allow it to happen.
Sometimes I feel really like they block me down, like they just shut me down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they can only shut you down by hooking into an emotion inside of yourself where you want to shut down.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how they link with you. Remember, it's everything you deny feeling within yourself that causes the link.
Yeah.
So as long as I understand that inside of myself, I say, all right, they're shutting me down. Why do I want to be shut down? What's the feeling I have here?
Yeah.
And a lot of times you'll find there's a bit of fear behind it, that you don't want to feel, and maybe some terror behind it you don't want to feel, or some grief behind it that you don't want to feel. And as long as you allow yourself to feel that, you'll find that they'll no longer be able to shut you down at all. You will only feel heavily oppressed by spirits if the spirits can oppress you through your emotional injuries. You will get to a point in the end that you'll have very few or even no, when you're at one with God, no emotional injuries that any spirit could ever connect to you with. And that's the where you get to in the end. But from there, from now to there, it's just all law of attraction events helping you work through different emotions. And as long as you see them as such, you'll be able to deal with them in the most powerful manner. As soon as you go into the self-protection mode, which is very tempting, because sometimes it's very stressful emotionally, it's very tempting to go into this self-protection mode, but as soon as you go into self-protection mode, you've now stopped the law of attraction from working to a degree, and you've stopped your response to it emotionally, which means that there's a lot of shutdown going on inside of yourself, and that then slows down your entire progression.
Yeah.
And you won't be you then. So you can see I can see inside of you that over the last 6 months in particular, your interactions with these spirits with healing, and you're getting lots of spirits now bring people to you, as you know.
Yeah.
So you're fully booked up calendar, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and the reason why is because now you've dealt with your law of abundance issues about all of this stuff, and now you're getting people coming from all over the place to get some healing done, right? And if you can continue to allow that to happen and to just allow yourself to feel your own emotions, in the end, you're going to, be a person who's well known as a healer, and even before you reach the 1 minute condition, you'll be very well known as a healer and someone who can really help me with all of my situations, because you understand all and see all the different things that are going on, not just the physical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good place to be.
Thank you.
Shannon. Yeah. And there was... Someone's putting you to sleep. Who else?
I've seen about 6 people yawn in the last 5 minutes. Yeah.
Who's feeling sleepy? Okay, stand up. Spread out a bit. Reconnect with our bodies. Reconnect with our bodies. Breathe in as you put your hand up above your head. Breathe in. And out as you just bend over. In again. Out. Just keep doing this. Do it in a nice, relaxed way. Just reconnect with your body. All right, spirits don't like you hearing the truth about the real situation. Breathe in. What they like you to do is to remain in complete ignorance of what's really going on. They make you eat too much cake in your break. I'm serious. They want you totally detuned from this afternoon. They want you to feel only their stuff. They don't want you to know the truth, because if you knew the truth, you'd be shocked. How are you feeling? A bit more connected? Just want to stay connected, okay? So, if we can stay connected to our own body, you'll start understanding, I'm being heavily influenced to shut down here. I'm being influenced to tune out. When you can feel that, you know there's somebody with you who doesn't want you to know the truth about these discussions. So what we're finding a lot lately, you notice, is that when we have discussions about mediumship and healing, those discussions, there's a lot of shutdown going on from the spirit world. And that's because there's a lot of emotions in the spirit world about, we don't want the truth to be known here. We don't want everyone to know the truth. If everyone knows the truth, we won't be able to connect anymore, right? We won't get what we want out of this anymore if everyone knows the truth. So, and yeah, they don't want to deal with a lot of their emotions. They want satisfaction of their feelings through their addictions.